Hello, 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 and welcome to Wax Boss Wednesday. Donetta is, I was going to say home from her foreign travels, but she's coming to us from Canada for this video. She's
Yeah,
still
still foreign, but back
technically
in the right time
foreign,
zone.
but back in North America, at least she is actually on the Cincy incentive trip in Quebec City. Just super awesome. Had fun following her this week and the things they're getting to see and do and eat. Hello, that was some fun food that first day.
Yeah, yeah. It's been amazing.
It's, that's kind of like on my list again for this year is earning some more, earning another incentive trip because we want to travel a lot more for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
Yeah. So let's hop right into it. I thought the topic for today, is, as I sit in my messy space, is time and space for your business. One of the key components to being successful with your Cincy gig is being consistent. And it's hard to be consistent if you don't have a plan, if you don't have, some sort of place to go and have a mindset. But maybe it's not a place. And I'm not saying by any means that it has to be a office. You can't see where I'm sitting, but literally this is what was supposed to be the dining room in my house, but it didn't work out because the builders made a mistake in the kitchen. It's an extra cabinet, but I'm not going to complain about extra cabinet space. And it really worked out so that this could be my office space, but that's definitely not the case. Donetta travels full time, so she does not have an office space.
I'm in a hotel room.
Right. So, but I do want to emphasize, that one of the good things about having a regular place to work, regardless of what that place is, it can be the dining table, it can be a recliner, it can be, your bedroom, whatever. But if there is a location that you can go that changes your mindset into, okay, now I'm working. And if you are in a household where there are other people, it can also be that space where the other people in your house or apartment or wherever you may be living is like, okay, she or he, you're in your work spot, and that's a signal to them that, hey, they're working right now, and maybe now's not a good time to ask them, for another snack or to go cook dinner or to fold the laundry or whatever your situation may be. I know, growing up, my son was 3 when I started, or almost 3 when I started, and he's now 16. And my daughter's 10, and she's never known me to not be a consultant. They know that when I'm in here, if I'm not turned facing that direction, they know
You're busy.
They know they're busy. They know to peep over here, because if I'm talking randomly to the computer, they know that I am probably on a video call or something of that nature. And it's just a signal to the family that I'm working. And again, my kitchen is like right there. So even my husband knows, oh, she's working. I need to find out what she's doing before I get noisy making dinner or, doing the dishes or anything like that. It's like, are you on the call or can I do something? Like, go ahead, or give me 10 minutes, that sort of thing. But it also, for me, coming in here and sitting down in the mornings, like, okay, this is when I work. I also have
Get in the zone.
Yes, in the zone. So that's a good thing about having a space, and I'm saying space in quotations because that's going to look very different for everybody. And while I work here 99% of the time, it's been absolutely freaking beautiful weather in Northwest Arkansas lately. So when I've been able, I've taken the work outside and worked from the deck, which has been really, really nice. Yesterday I was feeling a little puny, so I worked from the recliner. So that's also a benefit, but I also am fortunate enough that I can work at home during the day when the rest of my family is out of the house. That may not be the case for you, but figuring out your space is really good. And if your space is mobile, which I'm going to let Donetta speak to this because she's the expert on that for sure, it may be more about having a bag or some sort of container that has your work stuff in it that you take with you, and that that's your signal of I'm working, and that's your signal to the other people that you're working. And the other point I want to make is time. Setting aside a particular time of day or week or however you work your Cincy gig is really important. Not only for yourself and those around you or potentially your team, letting them know when you're available, but again, it goes to that mindset. Okay, I am going to spend 15 minutes on my business every night at 7:30, and this is where I'm going to go. And making yourself take those steps, it really, really helps your consistency. Obviously, the next step of that is the intentionality of what you do when you get there, but that's another training. But having that time, for me, I have another business that we run. So I actually have a weekly plan where certain days of the week are Scentsy days and certain days of the week go to our cabinet shop, because I do the books and various other things for that business as well. And it's been a godsend for me, because before I created that last November, I'm like, okay, what fire do I need to put out today? And I would sit here and be like, I don't know what to do with my life. And I would not be productive at all. But I came up with plans. Okay, Monday, I'm doing Scentsy. Tuesday, Thursday, I'm doing the other business. Wednesday is Scentsy. Thursday, and Friday's like, if it's a catch-all, to be honest. Whatever I didn't get done the other 4 days, it lands on Friday.
That's
and
a good idea.
Flex day. Because if Joseph's needing me to do stuff, I'm like, I can do things today because of this. Or I'd be like, no, I didn't get X, Y, and Z done on Tuesday and Thursday or on Monday and Wednesday. So I can't do that today. So, but having that plan, those times set up. And I'm not I'm in the office at 9 o'clock kind of person. I get up, I get kids to school. I come home, I have my coffee, I have breakfast. And then I mosey in here after I watch some, guilty pleasure television, and it's usually 10 o'clock before I get in here. But, there's days it's 10:30 and some days it's 11, but I'm done by 3 when the kids get home. So, that doesn't work for everybody. And I don't really necessarily have tasks to do for that full amount of time, to be honest. There's more scrolling in there. But for a lot of people, you can get a lot done in 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have, a big team, or, if you're super intentional with the time that you do spend, you can get a lot done in 30 minutes. And if that needs to expand to 45 minutes to an hour, then, as time goes on, then you can figure that out. And I know for me, when I first started and I was working 40+ hour a week job outside of the home, I had a bag that I carried with me so that I could take advantage of breaks at work and lunch at work. So I would work 15 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a day. So you got to do what you got to do to get done what you got to get done.
That's awesome.
I'm super excited to hear how Donetta does this, because I love that they travel. I think Joseph and I low-key want to, maybe not full-time like James and Donetta, but when our kids are graduated, we've got 8 more years, not that I'm counting. Ask me in 2 years when I'm bawling through my son's graduation how I feel about that. But we definitely have plans to do a lot more traveling as the kids get older. So I'm excited.
Yeah, traveling is a lot of fun. That's our life. My husband and I dreamed of doing that for 10 years or so before we were able to make it a reality. And we've been doing it officially full time for almost 3 years. July will be 3 years. And it's been incredible. Long. Yeah, I know. It's in some ways it feels like it's been a while because we've done so much, but in other ways it feels like it's been that long. We just started, and so it's crazy. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, whenever we were talking about doing this and when we first kind of started making plans and stuff, I thought, how am I gonna work my business? Because there are certain things you kind of have these preconceived ideas of how it has to work, and that had to fly out the window whenever we started traveling, because we were going to be mobile. I wasn't going to have an office. Before we started this, we're empty nesters. So I took over my daughter's room whenever she moved out, and that was my office. So I had a whole office, and I had all the stuff and all the space, and not that it was huge, but I had everything that I needed right there at my fingertips, and had all that room. And that was really nice. But I thought, what am I going to do? I'm not going to have any of that. Now I have it's like a carry-on suitcase, basically. It's actually a Scentsy bag that we got years and years and years ago. Because we came on this trip, I left it actually with my daughter. She's taking care of some stuff for me while we're gone for this week because we're out of the country. So I can't show it to you, otherwise I would. But I have just the little suitcase and I have my office in that bag. And you know, the bags of testers that you can get, that it's like the black bag with the clear top.
Mhm.
I have kept those. I have a couple of extras. I've kept those and I put stuff in there and zip it up. So
Oh,
like I have a
yeah.
customer bag and I have a team bag, and I have things in there that I'm going to need, like thank you cards and scent circles and, you know, stuff like that for my customers. And so I just take those with me everywhere I go. And then, like you said, whenever it's work time and I'm in the zone of doing that, my bag is open and I have those out next to me, and I can, you know, figure out what desk I'm going to use, or maybe I'm spreading out on the bed because I don't have a desk in a hotel room. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I'll just make that my workspace and I sit and take care of the things that I need to do. And then when I'm finished, I put it all back in the bag and put it away. So if you don't have room in your house for office space, it's okay. You don't have to. You can work out of the bag, literally. Just put what you need in there, keep it very minimal if you need to, and then just get it out when you need it. And just like Heather said, you know, whenever your family is around and sees you with that bag out and you're working on it, hopefully they'll realize, okay, you're in work mode and you're trying to get things done, so you can do that and keep focused. But consistency, doing it regularly, like Heather said, is exactly what it takes. In fact, as she mentioned, I'm on the Cincy incentive trip right now, and we've had a couple of conversations with people this week, in fact, about consistency and
Mhm.
how that's what it all boils down to. We're able to earn these trips and do things like this because we're consistent with our business. And that doesn't mean that somebody who hasn't earned the trip isn't consistent, but you have to be consistent. You can't do something like this without being consistent. So creating somehow in your schedule of your daily life a time to work your business, whether it's 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 2 hours a day, you know, whatever it is that you can give, that's what you need to do. So for me, because I'm an empty nester, because I'm in control of my schedule, which I'm blessed with, you know, I know a lot of people have to get up and go to work in the morning, and, you know, they're rushing around for a lot of the day. And I totally get that. So figure out what's best for you. Is it best to get up early in the morning and do some stuff before you go to work? Is it best to maybe on your lunch break, maybe you have an hour lunch break and you can go sit in your car and have, you know, that peace and that space and do some things. Or maybe it's when you get home, maybe it's after you put your kids to bed, whatever it is, just figure out what works best for you and your schedule and sit down and do that consistently. One of the things that helps me stay on track is I have a daily to-do list, and I have it all on my phone, and
Mm.
it syncs with my computer, so it's easy no matter which device I'm using. That way, if I'm in the car, I can work from my phone, or if I'm in a hotel room or, you know, sitting somewhere at a desk, I can get my computer out and work. But I have a daily list, a weekly list, and a monthly list, and I can work through that list for whatever I know I need to accomplish that day. So like, for example, Mondays, I post to my VIP group and schedule out a whole week's worth of posts. And I do that every Monday. So I know, okay, Mondays, this needs to get done. Otherwise, my VIP group is going to be crickets. And I'm very consistent with that, and I'm very active with that. And my VIP group does really well because of that, because it's consistent. And so making sure that that is a priority has benefited in lots of sales, lots of relationships with my customers, and just things like that. And so having that as my schedule and making the time to do that grows my business. And then, you know, just like Heather said a little while ago, you know, she has until, what'd you say, 3 o'clock
Mhm.
to sit and work your business, you know, and if you don't have that much time, it's okay. Because like she said, you can accomplish a lot in 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So don't feel like you have to have hours and hours a day. If you do, you can maybe do some more things. You can do some extras or reach out to more people or whatever it is that you want to do. But if you have limited time, that's okay too. If you're focused, if you have a list of things that are income producing activities and that's what you focus on, and you leave the fluff out, then you're going to be able to do things. There's a lot of fluff in this business that a lot of people do that you do not have to do.
Yes.
Sometimes it baffles me when I see things that consultants will post that they're doing, like whether it's for team or for customers or whatever, and no judgment. Like if they enjoy doing that and it helps their business, that's great. But it's a lot of fluff and a lot of stuff that is just extra. It costs money, it takes time, and it's not necessarily income producing. And so I don't do any of that. I'm like bare minimum, bare basics. I make sure I take good care of my customers. I make sure I reach out to them. I make sure I check in with them. I make sure I say thank you, all the important things. And then making sure I'm available for my team and doing things like this, to teach how we've been able to find success. Those are the things that matter and are income producing. So making the time for those is what's valuable. But I think I said this already, but just to make sure, like one of the things I think people get focused on is, well, I need an office, or I don't have the space, or I don't have whatever. Like I literally work in the car sometimes. I'll be texting from my phone. I use Project Broadcast, and that is a life-saving app. It's incredible. You can do so many cool things with it. And I'll be, scheduling messages, and then people will reply, and I can just answer on my phone as we're driving down the road in the car. So you don't have to be sitting at a desk and working in order to work this business. This business can be worked in the nooks and crannies of your day, and you can work it around all kinds of things that you're doing. I had a customer text me when we were out on an excursion this week, and I didn't answer right away because I didn't want to get started in something I knew I couldn't continue to have a conversation about at that moment. But I saw what she said and saw it wasn't necessarily urgent, left it unread. And then whenever I had time to engage, I messaged her, told her what we needed to do. And then we went back and forth and got the issue taken care of. And I'm on a trip. Like it wasn't a big deal. It didn't take that much time. I was able to help that customer. She was really appreciative and, really excited. And so you can do it at any time of the day, no matter where you are.
And I think the key for it is just recognizing where you are in the season of life that you're in, and honoring that, making sure you put the proper priorities where they belong. But I think one of my, I can't remember the quote right now, but it's one of those things where, since he shouldn't be your top priority, but it does have to be a priority. You've got to figure out where it fits. And, for some people, that's a little bit every day. For some of you, it may be a chunk that you do on Saturday or Sunday or whatever day of the week you have. Yeah. I have a fantastic frontline who's a nurse. She works weekends, but Mondays are her days off. So Monday would probably be a better time for her to get a chunk of things done for her Cincy business.
That's a good point. It can be like all in one day. It doesn't have to be working every day. I like doing that just because it spreads it out a little bit. Yeah. And it's just a little bit, and then I can go play and have fun and do whatever. But yeah, you can do it all in one day if that works best for you.
Absolutely. And the what works best for you is, I think that's a key to take away for pretty much every aspect of this business, the business or the side gig, hobby, whatever you're looking at it to be for you. But it really is about you and making it a priority to fit in where you needed to fit in. In 12 years, I've done all the things. I mean, I'm not much of a morning person, so I didn't do a lot of getting up early to do things, although it did happen on occasion. But I did a lot of staying up a little bit later after the kids went to bed. I did a lot of taking things with me to the office and taking advantage of my lunch break. I did a lot of taking advantage of weekends, maybe when, Joseph would take the kids and go do something fun and I would work for a little bit. And I think, just one point, kind of like Donetta was just talking about, leaving somebody on red for a little bit. Don't get so caught up in this instant gratification world that we live in. There's no such thing as a Cincy emergency, to be real. It's okay to not work on the weekend or whatever your day off. It's okay for somebody to wait a little bit. I mean, and I'll be honest, I've had people who got antsy, didn't even wait 48 hours and went and ordered from somebody else. And I'm like, I'm not going to be at your beck and call. And if that's where your loyalty lies, i.e. non-existent, it's okay. You know, you felt like you needed to get it done now, and I put my family first, and I'm okay with that. You know, and I didn't tell them that in that kind of manner. I just said, I'm so glad you found somebody to help you when you needed help. You know, I was doing something with my family or whatever it was that I was doing at the time, and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, does it suck to lose a customer? Sure. But do I know in my heart that I did the right thing in putting my family first? Absolutely.
And that's what matters. Yeah.
Just finding what works for you, and know that it may look completely different from what works for anybody else. I also think it's safe to say that if you're having trouble figuring that out for yourself, and I know it can be daunting where you look at your life and you're like, I have zero time to do this. That's a good opportunity to reach out to your sponsor or your director, or even reach out to any of us. And, you know, we could be happy to coach you through some questions and looking at your schedule and seeing if you can't find just a little bit of time in there.
I'm willing to bet there's a little time in there for everyone.
Yeah, there probably is more time in there than you realize it's in there.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking about, you know, I have an office that I can be in for 4 or 5 hours a day. Also in that 4 or 5 hours a day, I'm usually taking a break to get some water. I'm running to the restroom. I'm doing laundry. You know, I may be cleaning up a kitchen, unloading a dishwasher, all of those kind of things, because I am at home too. So
Yeah.
it's not like I'm sitting here and just like, you know, in the zone,
In the
doing
zone for
work
that
for 4
long.
or 5 hours a
Yeah.
day. That
No,
does
it doesn't
not
take
happen.
that long. Yeah.
I'm also super squirrely and will get distracted and go down rabbit holes that are very not productive. So
Yeah.
it definitely happens to all of us. So
Yeah.
do not be thinking I work 4 hours a day. I do not. I mean, the family think that I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
don't tell.
literally this morning, I dropped my son off and went shopping, and got home at 10:30. So yeah. Do we have anything else?
I think that's it for me.
All right. Well, good luck. Find your space, and find your time. And I think you will be amazed at the difference in your productivity. And extra bonus points if you go into that time and space knowing exactly what you need to get done in whatever time you have allotted, because it will be game changing for you, not only in how well your business succeeds, but how well you feel mentally and emotionally about getting things done.
Especially if you're limited on time. If you don't know what you need to do, you're going to waste that time and you're not going to get anything done. So definitely, if you're limited on time, have a list of things before you start, so you know exactly what you need to accomplish.
And the list can sometimes be vague if it needs to be. Like today, what is today? Today is Wednesday. So Wednesday is my customer day. So I know that today I need to do something for customers. And if I don't have anything specific written down to do, then I know it's a follow-up day. So, and I have every day of the week is like that. So
that's perfect.
Yeah. It can be random or it can be super specific, but realize that in the randomness, you're going to struggle and you're going to waste at least 5 minutes, if not 10 of your time trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
If you don't have
have your
a pre-plan of some sort.
Have your to-do list ready.
Yes.
And if you need help with a to-do list, I can help with that. I'm the queen of to-do lists.
She is the queen of lists, y'all. I have lists from Donetta from years ago that I still use.
I have spreadsheets and lists and that's my jam. So
she's fantastic at them.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us, and we hope this helps you be more successful with your Sense again.
Absolutely. Have a good day.